Well, good morning, everybody. Got coffee this morning. Truck's warmed up. I think Dusty's going to go with me this morning. It is starting to green up around here. It is May 17th. It's 6 in the morning and it's 42, 43 degrees, which is pretty nice. A lot to do out at the farm today. Irrigation gets set up, more tillage to do, have a bunch more planting to do, and work on the fields. So let's get out to the farm and see how things are going. Hope everybody's having a great day. It's actually drying up pretty good. This was soupy just a week ago. I wouldn't even dreamed of driving the pickup over it, but it's dried out and well, here we are down on the edge of the pond, getting our pump set up for the irrigation system. We were initially starting out with a 1-inch pump, but quickly realized it was too small and went ahead and moved up to the 3-inch pump. Attached an empty plastic jug as a float to keep the suction off the bottom of the lake and tossed it out into the deep water.
Come here, Bill. Yeah. Come here.
Okay, now the fun begins. You put together a list of fittings you need from the hardware store, go down and buy all the fittings you need, and then work on assembling your manifold. This is what will direct the water towards the drip irrigation. The problem is, no matter how many fittings you buy, you still never have all the right fittings. So some compromises were made, and in the end, we were able to get it together enough to start using the irrigation. This is definitely a work in progress. As the farm grows and we add more crops and more production, for a while we will continuously outgrow whatever kind of irrigation system we have. And with a little luck, by next year we'll have commercial power, which means we can run fair-sized pumps cheaply. Dave is a very big help whenever it comes to these construction jobs or plumbing jobs, has a lot of knowledge and experience. Well, now we get to stretch out the feed line. This is a 2-inch oval-shaped plastic hose. Pretty easy to work with. And since it lays semi-flat, we got a fair bit of it in a very small roll. When you're figuring in shipping and handling on this stuff, if they can make it more compact, it definitely helps with the expense. And as the farm becomes more established, we can settle into a routine when it comes to the irrigation. Give it somewhere to go. I'm going to try putting it in.
What's that?
So I'm going to try putting it in on.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to get wet or...
You want some soap?
No, yeah, let's see.
That's not bad.
Well, we have the feed line all hooked up. Trim this off square, as square as I can. Okay. It's really nice having it pressurized. Makes plugging these in way easier. That's it. On to the next one. The drip irrigation does take a little bit of time to set up, but when you think about how nice it will be to put fertilizer right at the plant and have the ability to deliver water right to the root zone, it really does pay off in the long run to use some kind of irrigation, and especially drip irrigation where you can, and this will only get easier year after year. Okay, Dave is making the final tap into the line out of these 30 rows. And then we'll go to the other end and start capping them off. And we do have a few splices that we need to locate and put unions in. Okay, there's what they look like. They're growing. 6 days since they were planted. I'm going to put this corn seed back in. And we're fixing to give them some water. As you can see, there's a few spots where the plastic is coming off a little bit, and that's from the sticks poking up through it and just not getting good coverage. All part of the learning curve. But for the most part, it turned out pretty good. You can see George off in the distance. He is disking one of the fields up. It's the field we plan on using our new John Deere grain drill on. It's wide open, has really nice dirt. A great place to practice using the drill. It is really great to see all this activity on the farm. Everybody's doing something and getting a lot of work done. George's out here disking. We were out making our rounds and checked on the irrigation that was going on the corn. Everything looked good there, and now we're going to head over towards where George is disking, see how he's doing. The four-wheeler sure is a handy tool out on the farm. Having the ability to jump on it and run around is really nice. Especially without having any established roads, pickups and cars are not necessarily the appropriate thing to be traveling around with right now. And here we're running down the outside edge of the sweet corn field. And boy, that mulch sure did lay down nice wherever the dirt was nice and smooth. Well, good morning, everybody. It is another beautiful morning. It is Saturday, the 18th. A few high clouds. It's about 42 degrees this morning. But it's a nice one. We're going to get out to the farm. See you guys there. It is starting to green up around here. They are saying chance of thunderstorms this afternoon. We'll see how that goes. Mid-60s, upper 60s. So if that's the case, there's a pretty good chance we may get some thunderstorms. As the weather's warming up, there's more and more boats in the water. That's kind of cool. Good to see people out using the rivers and the lakes, recreating, going to their cabins. For a few people, going home. River's looking good today. It looks good every day. Okay, tractor's warmed up. We're going to disc a bit. It's a beautiful day. Dave's over clearing one of the other lots. We'll go check on him here after a while. Here we are on lot 25. Dave's got a few hours clearing on this. Get my picture taken. It's a beautiful day. Just had a little rain cloud come over, sprinkled. Not enough to get anything wet, but it's kind of nice. Okay, everybody's probably wondering how the irrigation works. Well, we run water from the lake. Up the hose, which is really long, so it makes a big loop. Around. This is definitely not permanent. Just what we put together. Okay, the hose goes into the manifold. It passes through a filter to keep debris from getting into the drip irrigation lines. We'll be switching things around to put in the fertilizer inductor next week. Then we just split it off so we could run two sides. I'm sure you could run just one continuous pipe, but we thought breaking it in half seemed like a good idea. And then make our connections. Okay, lightly disking the field behind me. Put fertilizer on it a little while ago, so we're gonna get that worked into the ground a little bit, and then we'll plant on it, hopefully tomorrow. Sun's coming back out after that little storm went over. We definitely are going to want a little smaller, finer finishing disc at some point. But right now this disc doesn't work too bad. If you just shallow it out a little bit, it does a pretty good job of making a decent seed bed. It all comes back to it's hard to have one tool that does everything. Well, good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, the 19th of May. It's about 42, 43 degrees today. So just an absolutely gorgeous day. The sun is up. A few high clouds in the sky, nothing too much. So we're going to get out to the farm and get to work. See you there. Just another sleepy small town morning. Not much going on Sunday mornings here. Well, there it is. They've been working hard on it. This other approach to finish up. And they're getting close. They're tearing the crane down, getting ready to move it back to bridge number 2. Well, here's a shot of me planting the Gaspy corn. I talk a little bit about this Poly Junior planter. It does a great job of planting through plastic mulch, but it also will plant in regular dirt. It's produced and sold by Ferris Farms. Great company. Well, we're out here on one of the back fields of the farm. Spin you around here. I know it's into the sun. We are planting some of the Gaspy. Let me turn you around. So over there is the sweet corn under the plastic. And there's 2 test plots over here. Raised beds without any plastic. And there's a section of just direct sowed into the ground. The purpose of this is to figure out which one does better, how they work. This is a nice section. There's a couple different types of soil, some higher, drier stuff, and a little lower, damper. And we'll also come out here and plant other test crops, the different wheats, barleys, oats, etc. That way we have a better idea for next year. What works well and what doesn't work well. Skeeters aren't too bad because it's so warm. And I know I mentioned this before, We have this Polyplanter Junior, and it is an amazing piece of equipment for being such a little guy and mostly plastic. It does an excellent job, and rarely do you find a place where it's missed putting a seed in the ground, whether it's muddy, sandy, dry. Anyways, if you get a chance, look up Polyplanter Junior. They're great folks. I'll get you one of them. Okay, back to work. This isn't the easiest to operate one-handed, but it works.
So we're putting fertilizer in to the grain drill. What kind of grain you have in there?
Jefferson wheat is what we're going to start with. Jefferson wheat.
Jefferson wheat. Sure is a pretty field.
Yeah, this is a pretty field. Drying out nicely, and this is our first couple of passes with this new drill, learning how to set it up, making sure it's actually working. George and I both rode a couple passes around the field to make sure everything was working right.
Rose decided that she's going to walk again. Belle and Dusty, I think they're done. Okay, so I checked and they are planting barley right now. Stay here. Dusty, windy day.
You definitely couldn't ask for much better weather to be planting in. The temperature is running in the low to mid 60s. Just a little bit of light wind to blow the dust away. And the ground was nice and dry, so everything worked really well. By modern standards, this is a fairly simple grain drill, but it still has a lot of moving parts and a lot of adjustability. So one of our major goals this year is to learn how to use it and see how it does and how we do, so that next year when we're ready to plant a lot more volume, we'll have the ability to do so and the confidence we can do it right. Well, this is going to wrap up this video. We sure appreciate everybody watching. Please subscribe if you get a chance, and we'll see you here next time. Bye-bye.